Will a board member at Disney please do something other than just blankly stare in your meetings? Okay, that might have came out a little harsh. Just a smidge. Okay, Danny Clover, I believe, was talking to the Hollywood Reporter and saying that a Lando film is still alive and in the works at Disney. Why? Like, why? I think I'm generally curious what Disney's thought process is and how their strategy and their overall approach to budgeting, marketing, and making money is. Because Solo, if you didn't already know, didn't completely. I'm not gonna say Solo sucked, although the box office will. And not only that, that budget again was ballooned because you had two directors who are notorious for never following the script and just kind of doing their own thing and making movie magic. They let them make the movie. They let them film the entire movie up until about 2 weeks left of filming, and then they decided to fire them, hire Ron Howard, and have him refilm the entire movie. So essentially, you've done paid to get the movie made twice. Not once, but twice. And we're not talking about some, comedy that is like a Kevin Smith style comedy that's made for $1 million. We're talking a Star Wars movie. Not even one of the main franchises, a spin-off story that is a one-off, like a Marvel's What If you will. And you done paid to make that movie twice, and it lost so much money at the box office. I actually know a guy who worked at a movie theater, not in my area. I know him because we used to work on a film set together, and he said that the theater that he worked at the time when that movie came out, there was not a single line. Like, he's like, usually when a Star Wars movie opens up, there's lines out the door, people lining up. It's a whole thing. There was not a single person waiting in line to see that movie. And now you're going to give you're going to give Danny Glover's Lando his own spin-off movie. I mean, I'm not going to say that wouldn't work, but why risk it? Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. Those are not only great stories within the Star Wars universe that are using the IP that you paid, what was it, like $4 billion for? So yes, you're making that money back using, Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. I mean, not to mention all the toy sales and merchandising. Let's be real. Disney's making hand over fist in clothing, toys, and merch. Not the point. In Disney's forefront of jobs, they are to make entertainment, films, TV shows. And again, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, they were killing it. I mean, they are killing it as far as ratings go. Mandalorian opened up a whole new generation and a whole new audience up to Star Wars. Okay? Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show, was better than the entire new trilogy. And it probably cost them a tenth to make that show than it did one of those Star Wars movies. And every fan hated those Star Wars movies. I mean, come on, let's just take it through a brief history. And I'm going way off topic. This was supposed to be news about how Danny Glover is still trying to get the Lando film made at Disney. But, I mean, now we just got to take a trip down memory lane. The fans of Star Wars turned their back on George Lucas, the person who created Star Wars, after he made the prequels. I mean, again, he did kind of constantly, re-release them and tweak them. And then he did go back to the original Star Wars and made Bounty Hunter shoot first, not Solo, because Han, because you can't have your hero shoot first. Although we all have the VHS, Han shot first. But again, the fans turned their back on George Lucas. How much more can you try to rip off the original trilogy to make money before the fans completely just shut down? I'm just curious. I mean, you have so much great material. Why not just run with that? You can make Mandalorian movies. People would go see them. And if you didn't know, actually, the reason why the new Star Wars movie did so well, The Force Awakens, I think it was The Force Awakens, is that it came out right after The Mandalorian, and literally audience members were pissed because they went to see the movie thinking Baby Yoda, Grogu, was in the movie. They had no idea that it takes place in two separate timelines. Or not timelines, two different times, set in two different time frames. They have no idea. They thought that Baby Yoda was going to be in the Star Wars movie. So a huge part of those ticket sales were people trying to go see Baby Yoda. They had no intention of seeing Star Wars. They just wanted to see Grogu. Again, give the fans what they want. And again, not just the fans. I mean, by giving them more Baby Yoda, you're essentially going to enhance your audience members, and they'll go pay to see the movie. Not to mention, most of your merch now, let's face it, it's Baby Yoda. Cups, T-shirts, car seats. I mean, it's unbelievable the merchandise you're selling on Baby Yoda. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, or the new trilogy. That's all Mandalorian. So why not just take what's hot and what works and work around that and build off that? And stop trying to rip off the original trilogy. Essentially, the new trilogy is just a remake of the original trilogy. At least the prequels were their own storyline, and it gave us an insight on the rise of Anakin Skywalker and his demise and his fall. The new sequels are pretty much the original trilogy with new character names. It's the same storyline, just new character names. I mean, that's just my thought. What are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know. Do you think they should continue to make these one-off Star Wars movies, or should they just continue with working with Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and kind of enrich and go in and enrich the series they've already made and that people actually like? What are your thoughts? Comment below, let me know.